But we didn't hit this earth as these old damn women.
Yeah, we kept talking about it last time. We were supposed to do it this time. But I got Bombay in my car if we want to take a swig or two.
It's okay. Latrice.
Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody, to Real Women, Real Talk Friday. Not just Friday, it's Good Friday. And of course, we're joined by our regular contributors, Lisa Campo and Latrice? Lamia Solomon. Hey, what's up with the wig?
What you talking about? This my Easter wig. I Easter wig.
And in case the camera's not picking it up, it looks like cotton candy. Feels like cotton candy. What's
Candy.
So what's
Do
up?
it when you want, even when you talk.
So what's up? Our young people are really having issues in the workforce. And so when we look at the new administration in the city of Alexandria and all of the things that people are hoping Alexandria will become and all of the ideology, what are we going to do about the people who just don't want to work? You know, I think a lot of companies are not wanting to come here because
it's a very shallow hiring pool, if I may say.
Right. Because people just can't. People will not stop smoking weed.
Well, and it's not just that. It's work ethic. And it's parents, again, coddling and entitling and helicoptering teenagers and young adult children. And, you know, Craig's been out at Oak Wing for 20 years, and he's been very blessed.
Has he been there 20 years?
It's going to be 20. We're coming up on 20 years. And Miss Mary is there with him, and she's been there all right just days after Craig. She's been out there with him, and he's so blessed to have her. I mean, that's his. We laugh. We call each other the sister wives because that's his wife at work, and she runs that show, and she takes care of him, and she takes care of Oak Wing, and he's blessed to have someone with him for 20 years. But beyond Miss Mary, it's hard to find staff that are going to stay and be reliable and be honest and be and not steal from you and then give you excuses why they stole when you questioned on it. I stole because, oh my God, you don't steal. Right. There's a because. And then we had jump and jive, and y'all, I think I went through like 79 staff members in the year. I mean, I was firing them like this. They're back there huffing or whatever they call it on the helium tank. I couldn't figure out why I was going through helium tanks multiple in a weekend. And I'm like,
you gotta be kidding me.
Dang, okay.
They were getting high on the helium?
I did the math, and I'm only using 3 balloons per party, and a tank's supposed to give me X amount of balloons. What's happening with the helium? You know, I couldn't get people to mop. I couldn't get people to clean. I mean, they couldn't show up. The last time you talked about mopping. Mopping must be a real thing. Well, and I'm a stickler. Look, when I ran a children's facility, I put on rubber gloves, and I walked into those stalls with my gloves, and I rubbed the basin of those toilets with my gloves. And if I could feel grit, which, okay, guys, that's urine that is crystallized, we got to clean. And they didn't like me.
Urine that's crystallized.
Urine crystallizes when it dries. And if you put on gloves and rub anywhere urine can hit, go in a little boy's bathroom and put some gloves on. You would die. And so if you've got a children's play facility, you've got a toddler standing there, they're touching the wall, their hands in their mouth, clean, clean, clean. You got to clean. And the hiring pool is shallow, and I feel in the central Louisiana, and we have to focus as parents. What are we doing to encourage our children to get, our young adults to get jobs, and then once they become adults, be responsible and keep those jobs.
Right. And I think, you know, with kids getting educated, I know when I graduated from high school and went to college and finally graduated, I just wanted to get away from home.
Yeah.
And that's been a real theme for a lot of young people. And so how do we keep them engaged?
They don't want to get away from home. That's the problem. A lot of them don't want to get away from home.
Or get away and let mama keep paying the bills.
Exactly. Or they want to get away and mama keep paying the bills or whatever. And it's like, okay, no, we have to give them options. Okay, you can stay home. You can stay home for 6 months. After 6 months, you're going to have to find a way.
You're going to have to find a way.
You're going to have to find a way. And you know what? Maybe the shelter's not a good place to stay, but that's the only option you got.
That's all you can afford right now.
That's all you can afford. And guess what? Thumbs up to you. I'm going to supply you with a toothbrush, some toothpaste, some white drawers, and a T-shirt. And you're going to have to work it out because you don't want to work, and I don't want to take care of you. So let me tell you, I am a big advocate now for Stop the Violence. I wasn't when I was younger. I mean, a lot of people don't know that, but, you know, I was subject to gang life and all of that when I was younger. So now that I'm older, I
How did you fall into that?
Well, older siblings, older siblings, and then it was like, okay, the life at home wasn't choice for me, so I needed to adopt another family.
Wow.
So that's how a lot of kids end up in that, saying, okay, I'm being raised by the neighborhood, I'm being raised by the streets. So in order for me to turn my life around, it took for me to have my son to make a choice to say, wait a minute, my son was being shot at, they were trying to kill my little baby, and this is my little baby during that time, and I had to make a choice. And so that's why right now I'm a real big advocate on choices. Young people have choices, but we have to encourage them to say, just because you did this back then, that doesn't mean your life cannot change tenfold because you made a choice to do better. You do have an option. And when I was that age, I thought I didn't have an option. I thought, like, this is the life that's paid for me. This is all I got. But then once it was up to me to decide this was not the lifestyle that I needed for me and my child.
So how did you get out of that gang violence, though?
And to be honest, you never really just get out. You leave. It's about your surroundings. Okay, you have to make a choice to say, okay, I'm not going back. But
when everything around you says this is good, this is how we live, this is what we do, it's got to be hard to make the choice not to do it.
It is. And what happens is you're brainwashed, but you're not brainwashed. The devil has completely taken over. It's not brainwashing. The devil has made it a fact to feed you that, to make you believe that it is okay. This gang life is okay. Selling drugs is okay. Being rebellious, it's okay because of how it makes you feel. You feel important. You feel like you are in control. And really, you're not in control at all. It's all a lie.
Indeed.
But it's not easy.
I was getting ready to say, it's not easy. And even to this day, I sit here and I grapple with things from my childhood that I think what DC and I are finding is that they're almost like barriers of protection. Things that you experienced as a child, things that you learned as a child, and they stop you from growing. And if you look at the lineage of your family, you will see how those strongholds have stopped certain people in your family from being who God created them to be, but they're strongholds.
Right.
And they're so subtle. See, if you're not drinking or doping or gambling or smoking, if you're not doing any of the quote unquote biggies, the biggies, then those little subtleties, they can really be hidden.
But those are physical activities. But there's also mental activities.
Exactly.
The narcissistic, passive aggressive, the verbal abuse. There's some, there are days in my life that I feel I'm what I would call survivor's guilt when I look around at the situations in my family and with my friends, that I'm like, God, why'd you pick me to be able to escape? Why did he pick you?
Right.
To escape. And, you reach a point in your life. Okay, you had a bad childhood.
But see, I don't know that he chose you in those situations. I think that after you get a certain age, you can, like we've always talked about, you can make a choice.
Yes, but our fiber, my mom always said, after she told everybody I failed first grade, she would always say, that Lisa Ann was my strong head, most difficult child, my middle child. There are fibers in our souls that we are either cursed or blessed with, however you want to see it, that make us so hard-willed and determined, whether we're going to be determined to fail or determined to succeed.
Right.
Exactly.
Self-sabotage or self-glorify.
That's
right. And I don't mean that conceited.
And that hard-headedness.
That hard-headedness.
But it could have been the thing that caused you to rise.
And you know what?
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. And I definitely agree to that, because I say this as me and my sister, we were raised the same. I was the rebellious one, and she was the one that she was the good girl, and my mother recognized her as such, as the good girl, and when we grew older, she went into the military and had these issues or whatnot, and when I went in, because I was so rebellious, I was street smart.
Did you
It
go in the
pays-
military because she had gone into the military?
I went into the military because I needed to escape.
Okay.
So that was my escape to make a better life for me and my child
Praise
at
God.
that time. So the military, I owe them my life as well.
Wow.
And so
how did you conform though, Lamia, to discipline?
Did they give you
well,
one
this
of
is
those
the
little
thing.
cards to hold up?
Nope, they didn't get one of
Okay.
those cards. I didn't get the stress card. This is the thing, and a lot of people don't realize that even when you're in a gang, you're disciplined.
Wow.
There's structure. There's a hierarchy. There's
Wow.
responsibility. The same as in the military. You can't be disrespectful. They have jobs. Just like you have jobs, they have jobs too.
Wow.
So you have certain things that you are required to do as